Hey, what's up, everybody? It's just Charles, and I welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamerspro Show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and where we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. Now, this is a particular subject we've touched on in the past. We've done some videos here and there, but we really haven't delved into this particular topic, and that's what I want to do today, because I truly believe that there are a good amount of people out there that are threatened by what Giannis Antetokounmpo represents. I mean that wholeheartedly. I think that there's a legitimate amount of fear for what Giannis represents. First of all, if we're being honest, Giannis Antetokounmpo is not an American-born player. He wasn't born in the States, and no matter how much we want to play our games and act like as if we don't know what I'm talking about, I think there are a good amount of people out there that are not comfortable with a non-American-born player being the face of the NBA. If you look at the faces of the NBA, you have, LeBron James and others, right? Hell, right now they're even trying to find a way to make Zion Williamson the face of the NBA. They would rather these type of players over a Giannis Antetokounmpo. If we're being honest, this is what I truly believe. And to a certain extent, I believe that a good amount of people would be more comfortable with the idea of Luka Doncic, if it had to come to it, to be the face of the NBA over Giannis Antetokounmpo. I truly, truly believe that. And that includes blacks and whites, right? I think the fact that Giannis Antetokounmpo, although he was born in Greece, but he's of African descent, I think it's something that a lot of people are not comfortable with. That includes blacks, that includes whites. The fact that he's African, that part of him, I think some people are not ready to accept. You can say, hey, man, you're making that up in your mind. This is what I believe. I'm not up here telling you what I think other people believe. I'm telling you what I believe. I truly, truly believe that. So that's one aspect of it. I believe another aspect of this issue, of the fear that Giannis, of this fear that people have, or reluctancy towards him, is this. I believe people they fear Giannis because he represents the anti-super team kind of narrative or way of doing things in the NBA. If you think of teams that have won the NBA championship over the last few years, they've usually been comprised of teams that are full of all-stars. Giannis is the only player I can think of, or one of the only players I can think of over the last 2 decades probably, that won an NBA championship as the sole superstar on that team. He's the only player I saw win an NBA championship without playing with another top 10, top 15 NBA player. Y'all are not going to tell me all of a sudden, because Giannis won an NBA championship, now all of a sudden Drew Holiday is a top 20 or Chris Middleton is a top 20 NBA player. That's what they try to do to him. He won the championship, and then some people are like, the Bucks had a super team. Really? They had a super team, so why didn't y'all pick him? If they had a super team. I think that this is one of the things that people dislike about him. Giannis didn't run to go create his own super team. And you heard him in the press conference. He said, to use his words, we did it the right way. I did it the right way. And I believe that bothers some people. It goes against the status quo. It goes against what people have been told. People believe that in order for you to win an NBA championship, in order for you to be competitive, you need to be on a super team. I think I was watching an episode on, Uncle Shay Shay's Club, and he was talking about he was talking to Mark Jackson or someone. He was like, how are you going to win an NBA championship if you're going to be like, how are you going to win an NBA championship and you're by yourself? You got to go team up with somebody. And Giannis completely bucked that entire theory. No pun intended. He literally shattered that notion that you need to play with. And that's the reason why that one ring that Giannis is carrying has more gravitas, has more weight, carries more significance than the majority of other rings you'll see other players go out there and win. That one ring alone, if we're being honest, the fact of the matter is this: Giannis Antetokounmpo over the last 4 years of his career has had a Hall of Fame career. In just the last 4 seasons. Think about this. In the last 4 seasons, Giannis Antetokounmpo won 2 regular season MVPs consecutively. He won a Defensive Player of the Year. He also was a 4-time All-Star in that time span. He was also an All-NBA player in that same time span. And he won a Finals MVP. List the players. List the players for me that have had a run like that. There are only a few. There's only a select few of players. You may think of LeBron, probably Kevin Durant, maybe Kawhi Leonard, to Stephen Curry, not even Stephen Curry to that extent, because Stephen Curry hasn't even won an NBA Finals MVP. We're talking about guys that have done it on all levels, right? The guys that have dominated in the regular season, dominated in the playoffs, and then dominated in the NBA Finals. That's the type of 4 years run that Giannis Antetokounmpo's had. I mean, how many players out there can say that they did, and he did all of that without being on a super team? And I think Giannis, whether people like it or not, he represents what the NBA will be in the future. Giannis is what globalization looks like in the NBA. In the future, you're going to see more players coming from different parts of the world into the NBA. If you look at the top 10 players right now in the NBA, I think probably 3 or 4 of them were not even born in the States. You think of Giannis, you think of Luka Doncic, you think Nikola Jokic. Maybe there's another person that I'm overlooking. Nikola Jokic just won the regular season MVP last season. He's not American born. So to me, I think Giannis represents where the game is going. And for some people, they are uncomfortable with that idea. Giannis is not a typical prototypical NBA player that you see every day. When you look at the guy, if you didn't know Giannis played in the NBA, all you would think of him is that, okay, wow, this dude is very, very tall, and that's about it. When you see Giannis, he looks like he's a very simple guy. He's always in sweats, or maybe sometimes you put on a jacket. I'm talking about a dress, like a blazer, maybe a t-shirt. But for the most part, he's very low key. Giannis to me seems to be all about his work. Giannis came into the NBA, and I said it before and I'll say it again. He is one of these few people that came into the NBA and saw it as a once in a lifetime opportunity, and he is maximizing his opportunity. He's not the Ben Simmons. He's not the Anthony Davises. He's not all the other players that people are talking about. He is one of the few guys that came into the NBA, and if you look at his career progression, he has gotten better every single year. People were laughing at him shooting threes. At least the guy has the courage to go out there and shoot those threes and miss. At least he has the courage to do it. It shows me somebody that's working on his craft. He doesn't have any mental blocks. Giannis is all about getting better, and I think that's the reason some people love him so much, because there's a group of people out there that really love Giannis. They love his hard work. They love his simplicity. They love the fact that he's kind of changing the narrative in the NBA, and that threatens some people, and I think there's a secret fear against this guy. Nobody really talks about him. Nobody really talks about him. It's like he won the NBA championship. You had to talk about him because, for God's sakes, if you're going to cover the NBA, you're going to cover the NBA Finals. Who else are you going to talk about? You're going to be talking about LeBron. You're going to be talking about Kawhi. These guys weren't even in the NBA Finals, so you got to talk about who's in front of you. But now that that's over and done with, it's like, okay, let's just move on to somebody else. Please, let's not talk about Giannis. And the worst nightmare would be if he goes back to the NBA Finals and win it. These guys are going to be like, oh my God, again, this guy did it. So to me, I think there's a healthy fear of him, and most people are dancing around the issues, but I believe some of the issues that I raised in this video are 100% true, and I'd be willing to debate them with any single person that takes exception to them, because I believe that there's truth to what I said. So what I want to know from you guys is, what do you think about some of the comments that I made in this video? Whatever you guys think, please leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section below. Again, if you enjoyed the video, be sure to make sure you go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit the notification bell to be notified whenever we drop our content. Once again, this is Charles here from Dreamerspro, wishing you guys an amazing day and catch you guys on the next episode.